This is a memory mistake I make all the time, and I know anyone who's ever learned memory techniques makes as well. So the mistake is telling yourself, I'm going to use the techniques, systems, and methods that you learned, but never do. Because you learn these techniques, systems that allow you to memorize information so much more faster, more efficiently, but then when you actually start learning information, you never ever apply it. So for example, maybe you learn how to remember historical dates. And so when you're starting to learn history, you're excited, like, man, I'm going to start applying these techniques. I'm going to learn everything. I'm going to be a walking timeline. And when you actually get to it, you don't do anything. You just fall back to your old ways. And that's what happens all the time because you start going through your reading and like, oh wait, I don't have a memory palace to store these things. Oh wait, I haven't practiced changing words into images, so I'm not that great at doing that yet. So you start coming up with all these excuses not to apply these techniques that you learn to help you learn the information. And so you go back and you just repeat the information over and over and over again. Hopefully it sticks instead of using the techniques that you know that work. And so what you have to do in order to overcome this mistake is you have to set information aside that you plan to specifically use the techniques, methods, and systems for. So say if I'm learning this whole timeline and I'm like, okay, from 0 to 1,000, I'm going to apply memory techniques. I want to remember 20 different events that happen in that time frame. And so I'm going to have a memory palace that has 20 locations and I'm going to do it. And so once you actively set out a specific amount of information you want to learn while using the memory techniques, instead of just saying, when I learn history, I'm going to start applying the techniques, that's too vague and it gives yourself too much wiggle room not to use memory techniques. And so you want to set information specifically aside that you're going to apply the techniques, systems, and methods to. And then once you start doing that, over time, you're going to start building the habit of using memory techniques when you learn information. And depending on what systems, techniques that you're using, you might have to have kind of a surplus of memory palaces in order for you to use a memory palace. Because if you don't have one, you can't really use a memory palace. So this is a mistake that you have to consciously work on in order to avoid it completely. Because even to this day, when I learn something like, man, I'm going to use memory techniques, and I don't use memory techniques, even though I know I should, and I'm probably going to forget the information I'm trying to learn in that moment a week later. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and maybe you can relate to this, getting all excited with these memory techniques and never actually using them. So look forward to my next videos, and I'll see you next time.